This week we're going to begin the fifth book in the Torah, the book called Deuteronomy, Devarim in Hebrew. And this book is written by Moses. It's him speaking to the Jewish people before they're about to go into the land with Joshua. And he's teaching them, telling them all the things they need to know in order to be successful when they move into this new reality of living in the land of Israel. At the beginning of this week's Torah portion, which is called Devarim, Deuteronomy, words, Moses tells the people about different places that they encamped, different places where they were, where certain things happened. And by mentioning these places, the hope is that people will learn lessons from what happened in those places. And one of the places he speaks about, and one of the occurrences that happened, is when the first time, 40 years ago, when the people were about to go into the land, they sent in spies to look at the land, to spy it out, to come back and tell the people all about it. And they came back, most of them, 10 of them, not all of them, there were 12, came back with a report that created mass hysteria in the camp. The people were so afraid of going in because the description was that the people were like giants in there and they were consuming the inhabitants. And it was just so frightening to the Jewish people. They lost faith that God would come with them and help them in their conquering of the land. And they became so fearful that they cried. The 9th day of Av is the day that they cried. And that day throughout Jewish history has become a day where we observe that as a day of mourning for all the national calamities that happened around this time and on that day ever since. The destruction of the 2 temples in Jerusalem, the beginning of the Spanish Inquisition, so on and so on. So many things have happened in our history that have been destructive and bad for the Jewish people that we cry on that day. It's a day where we observe by fasting and by sitting on the ground and reading Lamentations and crying, as the Jewish people did on that day when the scouts came back and gave back a report that created this crying. So what is crying? What is real crying? Rob Hirsch says crying is an expression of our soul. It's our soul sweating. It's something that comes from deep within. It's something that bathes us. It's something that washes us. Maybe it can cleanse us. Maybe it can heal us. But it is an expression of our inner soul and our inner desire. So what is it that we're doing when we're crying? And what is it that we're yearning for? Back at the beginning of creation, God created the waters. And at the very beginning of time, God separates the waters. And the lower waters were disconnected from the upper waters and from the heavens and from God. And they cried. And we learn that when the temples were destroyed, that created a disconnection between God and the Jewish people. That what the people did was created this need for the temples to be destroyed because of the ways we acted, that created a disconnection between us and God. And we learn that God cried on that night. So crying can be an expression of our loss. When we lose people we love, we cry, we're disconnected. So perhaps we can learn to use our tears to work on ourselves, to create the unity from within ourselves, the unity that we desire with other people, and the unity that we desire to have with God. And when that happens, when we're all unified, we will reach the end of days and all will be good.